Hopefully this is the last part of our lesson on properties of vectors. Our question here says determine the value of the magnitude, that's what those lines mean, the magnitude of 2a plus 30b if the magnitude of a is 10 centimeters, b is a unit vector, and the angle between the two vectors is 70 degrees. So we are interested in adding together not just a and b, but 2a plus 30b. And we have options about how we can do that. We can do it by drawing a very precise scale diagram. We can do it using cosine law, or we can do it using components and our sine costan ratios. My preferred method is cosine law, which is what I'm going to be doing, but you don't have to do it that way. So I do notice that it does ask only for magnitude, so I don't have to worry about finding the angle. I only have to do the length, which is nice. It's a little less work. Okay, so I have vector A, vector B, and the angle between the two of them is 70 degrees. I am not going to draw a scale diagram. I am just drawing a rough picture to get me started so I have some idea what this looks like. All right, vector A is 10 centimeters. Sure, that works for me. And then the angle between the two is 70 degrees. That's a pretty big angle. And B is a unit vector. What does a unit vector mean? We learned on the very first day that a unit vector would be 1 unit long. So in this case, it is going to be 1 centimeter because this is in centimeters. So obviously shorter than that. So I'm going to say that is vector B, and this is 70 degrees. Now, if I want to add my two vectors together, we always line them up head to tail. But when we measure the angle, they are always lined up tail to tail. So I have to take vector B and slide it over to this side and redraw it so that it lines up head to tail. Now, because this is still vector B, it is parallel to the original vector B, which makes this a little C pattern between our parallel lines. So angles in C pattern add to 180 degrees. So this angle here should be 180 degrees, take away 70 degrees, or 110 degrees. And then our resultant vector goes from where we started at A to where we ended at the end of B. This would be A plus B. But wait a minute. We're not trying to find A plus B. We're trying to find 2A plus 30B. So this would be A plus B, but that's not what I'm actually looking for. What we're looking for is 2A plus 30B. So I want to think a little bit more before I go to draw the picture about what 2A would be or what 30B would be. So if I know that I have 2A, so that would be 2 times the magnitude of A, that would be 2 times 10, which is 20 centimeters. And then 30 times the magnitude of B, well, that's going to be 30 times 1, or 30 centimeters. So my picture, A shouldn't be that much larger than B. So the picture that I drew is not actually for what we're trying to find. So I'm going to try drawing it again. That's why we have lots of space here. So I'm going to draw A. Now this time A is not longer, it's the shorter side. So here's my A. But we're not just doing A, we're doing 2A. And then roughly 70 degrees. There's my B, but it's not just B, it is 30B. And this is still 70 degrees. I'm going to slide my vector over so that it lines up with the head of A, which I forgot to draw. And then my resultant is going to be here. So this is 2A plus 30B. And we already said that this angle in here would be 110 degrees. Okay, so I could have drawn a scale picture. I did not. Instead, I drew just a rough picture of what I thought it looked like, and then I'm going to calculate. If you want to try to do components by breaking it down into right triangles because you're used to doing that in physics, that's okay. You just have to be careful about how you draw it. I am going to use cosine law because that is what I like the best. So when I am using cosine law, the one on the formula sheet says that a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos A. A is always the angle. And I've mentioned this before. Sometimes if you're having difficulty labeling it on here, draw yourself a new picture and ignore the other one. So this is 20, this is 30, this is A, little a, I don't know, B, little b, C, little c. And that's the side I want to find. All right, sometimes it helps just to draw the triangle isolated from the diagram so that we're not distracted by all the markings. Okay, so this is going to be x squared equals b, so 30 squared, plus c, that's 20 squared, minus 2 times b, that's 30, times c, that's 20, times cosine of 110. I'm going to calculate. So 30 squared plus 20 squared minus 2 times 30 times 20 times cosine of 110 equals 1,710.424172. And then I am going to square root all of that to get approximately 41.36 centimeters. So the question only asked for magnitude. It did not ask for the whole vector, so I don't have to do the angle. So I can just finish off by saying that the magnitude of 2a plus 30b is 41.36 centimeters. No further calculations required. Right, and that's it for our lesson today. I hope you have a good rest of your day.